Welcome back, everybody.
Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome back to What's That Noise? It's Tuesday night. I'll apologize in advance for my Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer appearance. Been having an allergy death day today.
I mean, I'm surprised we even made it, to be honest. You're in rough shape.
Yeah, we
We're
talked
all worried
about
you.
for a number of reasons. Oh, thank you, Diane.
It's not either of these fools' birthdays today,
Not
so
quite yet,
yeah.
Let us have our moments.
Right,
You can.
let us enjoy
Tomorrow
our
and the
youth.
next day.
Let us enjoy our 1 year younger than we're about to be. We almost didn't come out tonight. I've been just not sick. I just got allergies like crazy today. It happens every 3 or 4 months. I just get a horrible allergy day. But we're gonna see how long I can go before I sneeze on the podcast. It might be a while. It might not be at all. We'll find out together.
Snozcast,
Also,
right?
sneeze
Right.
on the keyboard,
Snotcast.
sneeze on the monitor.
It's a snotcast
Why don't
tonight.
you just aim forward, not near us?
Yeah, I'll sneeze in this direction.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. We're just going to freestyle it tonight, and we're going to go a little short tonight. As some of you probably know, most of you should know, or I'm sure I've heard about it, Minneapolis has kind of erupted yet again because, another black man was shot during a traffic stop. We are not a political podcast, and we're probably not going to go too deep on that, but do the research, check it out. It's ridiculous around here. There is another curfew in effect tonight, so we're going to end it a little early so Brad can get home before the curfew hits, and just because it's the right thing to do. But yeah, so we're just going to we're going to do a little freestyle tonight. We don't have a new song. There's still a little bit of work that could happen on this When the Medicine Runs Out tune. I got to get this finished because our good friend Chris Johnson is going to do in the near future an episode with us about mastering and how to kind of master songs in Pro Tools. Obviously, there's guys that do mastering and have a specific set of tools and different things, but there's also kind of a way to do a pretty good version of mastering within Pro Tools. Chris does a bit of that, so he's gonna walk us through that on this song at some point. So I do need to get this song finished so he can do that. So maybe we'll putz with that a little bit tonight, but we're mostly thinking like probably just going to do an hour tonight, and we kind of just want to freestyle. We're into the whole chat situation, so if anyone's watching and wants to chat, that would be great. If we get into the song, we do, and if we don't, we don't.
It'll still be there.
Yeah, it'll still be there. But yeah, we're taking it easy tonight. Like I said, I'm not feeling good. There is a curfew, so we're just going to go short and sweet tonight. And then I guess I may as well say right now, next week, we will be off. Joe is out of town, and actually timing worked out really nicely because there is another bonus episode of Musipolitics next Tuesday night with Michael Bland and Spiffy Newman. So we always encourage you guys to watch our friends on their show, Musipolitics, next Tuesday, since we're going to be off. All the more reason to check those guys out. Yeah, know what I'm saying?
You heard.
What else is going on? What else is going on with you guys? Anything good?
Dude, just trying to.
Excellent.
Yeah,
No is the answer.
it's been one of those weeks for.
Yeah, it's been a wild week. I was watching, I was watching the shit all on the news on, which gives you a little bit of coverage, and then there's like the unicorn riot, and there's a zillion people down there streaming. It's like that's the new thing now.
News is like
wild.
Twitter. Twitter's
Yeah.
the news, and the internet is the news.
Like
Live streaming.
There's like Facebook pages that like just all of a sudden get like 5,000 new subscribers because they're just down there in the thick of it, filming the cops and filming the shit. It's it sucks, man. It's a bad deal all around. I don't know. But yeah, again, we're not super political around here, so we're not going to talk too much about that
the
stuff.
bullshit.
The negativity, the bad stuff. But yeah, we need to do better. We need it to be a safer place to live. So hopefully something will change, and hopefully it'll happen real soon. I don't know how or whatever, but I hope someone that's smarter than me is working on it because it's bullshit currently. There you have it. So what do you think, Brad? Are you onto that What's That News situation tonight? Have you got anything cooked up for us?
I got
know
some
it's a little-
stuff.
I'm just kind of throwing you right into the fire tonight, but again,
Well,
I need to blow my nose. So,
Yeah, and Joe just took off his shirt so he could go move the camera.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Although he leaves his chair.
Typically when he
chair
takes his shirt off, the camera goes on him. You know what I'm saying? That's OnlyFans. That's a different link altogether.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nope. don't. We're not a political podcast. We're also not that podcast.
Right. Not yet. If the money's right, though.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know,
that's a different story. Yeah,
everybody's
what kind of
got a
shit can we
price,
get?
and our shit is cheap, son.
Some new releases, some album anniversaries, I think are pretty cool.
Talk to me.
So last week, the new Zayo record, those dudes are one of the heaviest bands on the planet and still putting out records. It's kind of crazy. New record's
I heard the
really
new one's
good.
really, really good.
Yeah. It's called The Crimson Corridor.
Sounds heavy.
Really good. Definitely heavy. Worth checking out if you feel like you need to get some aggression out. The new record or debut record from Assertion called Intermission came out on Spartan Records on Friday. New band from William Goldsmith.
Right. William played
from,
drums in Sunny Day Real Estate,
Yep.
which was kind of, I think, one of, big band for all three of us. He also spent the first, couple years as the drummer of the Foo Fighters
Yep.
until Taylor Hawkins came along.
Yeah, this record is kind of Sunny Day meets Jealous Sound kind of
Ooh,
vibe.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. It's definitely worth a spin. I think maybe that's the one we'll post a link to in the chat here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Album anniversaries. Oh, actually, there's one more new release that was just announced. Goo Goo Dolls EP 21 surprise release coming out on Friday. Stripped back record, just 4 songs, old songs redone. Looking forward to that, and that'll bring us right into album anniversaries. Goo Goo Dolls' Gutter Flower just turned 19 years old. Great record. I say that about most of their records, but it's true.
You like those Goo Goos?
I do. Piebald, The Rock Revolution Will Not Be Televised, turned 21 today.
Bro, I have said P-bald my whole life.
No, wrong.
Different band.
P-bald.
No, that's a cool EP that they put out, featuring American Hearts, which is probably the Piebald song that everybody knows. The Gloria records Start Here.
Whoa.
Just turned 19.
Jeez. That's crazy. That's crazy. 19. That means that I left that band 20 years ago, then, probably.
Thursday Full Collapse, which we've talked about a little bit before on here, my favorite record of all time, just turned 20 years old, and their final record, at least to this point, No Devolution, turned 10 yesterday.
All right. All right.
Aside from that,
All right, man.
there's more.
But wait, there's more.
I mentioned it, I think maybe last week or the week before, some anniversaries from a band called Johnny Rook, who I've worked with for pretty much their entire existence, helping
Right.
them put out records and doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff for them. Between Love and Loss just turned 15, and From Remorse We Learn turns 10 next week. So kind of cool that those anniversaries fell in the same week. We actually on Monday put up a limited edition vinyl, just 20 copies, lathe cut, real time lathe cut vinyl, all new artwork, laser etched cover. There's 5 of those left at this point.
Whoa.
So those are almost gone. They'll be gone, in the next day or two.
Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're hot. And we did like a limited edition t-shirt as well for From Remorse We Learn, which is just based on the album artwork. I know Diane picked up one of those, so thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
And then, we've got some plans for them, hopefully summer-ish
Okay.
to kind of get some stuff underway. And new record, I would think, before the end of the year.
I like it.
So-
I like it. Hey, my dad's in the chat. He says, happy birthday. Check is in the mail. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Thanks, Dad. Cha-ching. We do a little
Checks-
cha-ching
checks
little
are in
thing.
the mail? Is that what it
Little
says?
Cash register thing. Checks in the mail. Yeah, that's what it says.
So that's what I got on the burner.
Nice burner. Hot one. Yeah. Yeah, like for those who are in the chat or watching, my dad's in the chat. I've mentioned his band before, but he is now a part of a band from Madison, Wisconsin called the Ghost Particles. I actually just finished another song. I've been mixing their record and also playing some drums on a bunch of the stuff as well. And I mixed another song yesterday, which I have not sent yet, but it will be in the email either tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, your check's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
Not sending it till I get that check.
Yeah,
That's
really
right.
cool. Really cool band from Madison, Wisconsin called the Ghost Particles. I'm not sure when the album will be released as we are working on it now, but we are, 7-8 songs in, so we're getting close. Super cool stuff. I think you guys will really like it. At some point, we'll probably have to do a breakdown, a mixed breakdown on one of those tunes.
I have to say, like, one of the coolest band names I've ever heard.
Yeah, right. They ended up, not only do they write cool songs, they figured out how to get a good band name, which at this point in band name history is damn near impossible. It really is.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're a cool band. I can't wait to show you guys a little bit of that stuff at some point. We'll have them pick one of their favorites and we'll do a little breakdown. It's cool. They do all the recording down in Madison. They send me the files. I add drums and any other little bits and pieces I think might be cool, and then mix it up and send it back to them. And they've been real thrilled with everything thus far. And it's been really fun for me. And like I said, I've played it to Brad and Joe. As I'm working on stuff, I show it to these guys, and they're just like, "Dude, this is cool." Like, not even lip service. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is a record I want to
Brad
buy.
wants
I'd
to
tell
come
you
out.
if it was terrible. for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, these guys would tell me for sure, which I can appreciate, So, yeah, what else? I did a drum track for a tune today for a little something that we're cooking up. That's kind of a secret at the moment, but I love to just talk about secrets on the show.
I love whenever you spit stuff out like in full detail, and then you're like, yeah, but I'm not sure if I can say
and then
that.
I
It's not
back
mine.
off of it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it a little tighter than that. But I did play some drums today. I text back and forth with Mr. Michael Bland, and I was like, man, I'm trying to cut some drums today, and I've realized how far out of drumming shape I am. And it's not the hardest song, but it's up tempo, and it's a rocker or whatever. And I was sweating. And I also, you guys can probably see or have seen before, but the desk is way up in the front end of the room, drum set way in the back of the room. So for the last, 2 years, I've been like, I'll literally set a big long pre-roll or something, or depending, maybe like if the drums don't come in for a long time, like I have time, but I was like hitting record, running back to the drum set, putting the headphones on. Sometimes literally I would hit record, the click track would start in the headphones, and I have to start counting from here. So I remember how many bars by the time I get there, so I know when to come in. That got annoying real quick today because this song was a little hard. It was a brand new song to me, so it's kind of writing and recording the parts at the same time. And I got extremely frustrated with the back and forth of running up here, and then, I'd get like not even 20 seconds into a take and be like, fuck, this sucks. Okay, run up, delete, record again, run back.
No wonder you were sweating.
I was sweating
All
today.
the running.
Yeah, I was sweating today, so I went out to Best Buy and I got myself a second keyboard and mouse so I could have a rig all the way back there. So I was working out the kinks on that today, and that's going to be a big upgrade. I don't know why I didn't spend that $100 sooner, because it's
We've
already.
talked about it 1,000 times,
I know.
man.
I just haven't. I don't know. I just
I
figured
get
there'd
it.
be
You
a
just gotta
quirk,
do
or
it.
didn't know if if I turn on this keyboard, if this keyboard was going to not work, or blah blah blah. But it's all working. I tried to do it Bluetooth. Bluetooth is too laggy, and I'm not patient enough, so I got to switch over to wireless stuff. No big deal. Another trip to Best Buy tomorrow. Me and Joe were literally joking about, like, maybe we'll just like stream from the phone and go to Best Buy. This
Field trip.
this is what we do.
Yeah.
Like, shit, this sucks. Let's go to Best Buy and buy some stuff and make it better. So.
Dude, anybody who works in any kind of technology at all understands like the middle of the day, middle of the project, parts run.
Just
you know
dipping
what I
out.
mean?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Especially if you work on cars, you're like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
man, I need this. Or like if you're building the studio or building anything, you
You
go to
need this
Menards
tool.
and then you go like, ah, shit, I got to go back to Menards. Just one more trip ends up being like 3 more trips.
Or a
whatever.
different
Couple.
Menards.
Yeah, right. Because
Love
they
that
didn't have
Menards.
it.
They know me by name over there at this point
Mm-hmm.
at that Menards after building this place. Yeah, so like I said, we're just freestyling tonight. It's a sneezy
What's up
kinda
with
night.
everybody? We got some people in the chat. Evan's
Yeah,
in the house.
Evan's in the
Diana's
house.
Here.
Good to see
Gordon's
it.
here. We got
Corey's
some
here?
peeps. No, Gordon's.
Oh, Gordon. Yeah. I thought you said Corey was here. Yeah,
He
Gordon.
pops in once in a while.
Right on.
He always
Yeah.
texts me though. He does. I'm like, "What's up in the chat?"
There's a
And
lot
I'm
of
like,
ghosts out
yeah.
there, that are just kind of like creeping, watching, but
particles.
not. Yeah, right. Some of the ghosts are in the chat right now.
That's such a cool name, man. The band names are such a funny thing, dude. Because like, everybody hates their own band names. I remember watching a Dustin Kensrue interview, and I mean, you guys have probably heard me talk about this, so I feel bad, but like he talks about how he thinks Thrice is a stupid band. I'm like, dude, that's one of the coolest band names.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I do too, but he hates it.
Yeah, Grohl like famously hates the Foo Fighters. He's
Sure.
like, man, if I would have known this band was going to last 30 years, I would have came up with a better fucking band name.
Yeah, right.
You know. Speaking of Grohl, I just saw. Have you guys seen the trailer for the new thing? So he's got I forget what it's called. What drives
What
us?
drives
Yeah.
us?
What
Yep.
drives us?
Yeah.
It's funny. I was a little late to the party on it, and I'll tell the backstory. But I just saw there's a preview out. Basically, it's a documentary about how all these bands that are now huge bands started out in vans, you know, like way before the bus or the private jet or whatever level they may have gotten to. Most everyone, including like the Beatles, started out in a tour van. So I don't know, month and a half, maybe a month ago, I just kind of was watching YouTube as I was cleaning and doing some stuff, and I saw an interview with Grohl, and he was talking about how he was making this movie and blah, 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 blah. And I had no idea how far he was into it or whatever, if he had just started or if it was almost done. You know, usually when guys like that start talking about that kind of stuff, it probably is almost done and they're starting to kind of get the press machine going. But I heard him talking about it, and I immediately, I sent an email to Soul Asylum's management and to Michael and was like, dude, Perner should be in this movie 1,000%. Like, that dude was in a van in 1983, you know, and those guys stayed in a van for 6-7 years, I think, before they got to graduate to the tour bus. So I think we're a little late to the party, and unfortunately, you know, if we would have found out about it sooner, I bet we could have made that happen, because Mr. Grohl and Mr. Perner have worked together in the past on the Backbeat soundtrack for the Beatles movie, and just a few other things in passing, whatever. I thought that would have been really, really super cool, but we missed it. So I don't know, next time. But
the lineup of just people in the film. It's members of L7, No Doubt, Metallica, AC/DC, Slayer, Aerosmith, U2, Black Flag, Beatles, Guns N' Roses, Dead Kennedys, Scream.
Is Radke in there?
Radke's in there too.
Radke's in there, which is so cool.
Yep, super cool band. The one thing that I kind of had a little bit of a problem with on this is the clip of Lars Ulrich from Metallica just being like, yeah, I've never toured in a van.
Yeah, I know. He was like, oh, I hate to admit this, but I've actually never toured in a van, so can I go now?
Yeah.
Which is of course he didn't.
Yeah.
Fucking weasel, you know.
You also
How
never
did he
played
not?
the drums.
Yeah, right. Right, never toured in a van. He never learned to play the drums.
I kind of secretly have learned to love him, Lars Ulrich, for how much shade he gets and stuff. Mostly because he's just I don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, he's got a bajillion dollars.
Yeah, man, he doesn't have to.
And again, never learned to play the drums. He's totally one of the most famous metal drummers of all time, and arguably the worst one of all the famous metal bands.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say the same thing about Kirk Hammett. He's as far as metal lead guitar players, I'm going to put him on the
real
bottom
deal
rung.
guys.
Yeah.
In that genre of music, dude, you got to be able to play for real. And I'm not saying he can't play, but if you put the people around him,
he can't play
I agree
compared
with
to
you.
all of his peers.
I agree with
essentially,
you, dude.
Thank God they have Hetfield in the band, because
Right.
Hetfield is a monster, and everyone else is. I don't know. I think that's the new bass player, and probably Jason Newsted and Cliff Burton were all solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Lars is dead weight.
I also, but
so is Kirk.
But I'll say,
Maybe you're a drummer.
Lars.
I think maybe.
I'd try out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. When all the Napster shit happened too, I was real sour on Lars. I was a young guy. I think I didn't really know what it really meant. But as I've looked back on that stuff and things have changed, he was absolutely right. And frankly, for whatever the reasons were, whatever. But he was the first person to stand up and be like, "This shit ain't right. Artists are getting fucked left and right."
Right.
And more people. I wish more people would have at the time.
Well, and, interesting.
now.
To piggyback on that, it was about 2 months ago, I think, and Metallica owns all their masters again.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they've got
Big
their
dogs.
own label. They own all their shit. They basically, Billboard put out their weekly, like they throw out their top 5 in all the categories, like on their Billboard charts Twitter account.
Right.
And there was one week where it was like, here's your top 5 vinyl albums of the week, and all 5 of the top 5 were Metallica albums.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Where's that sound effect?
Yeah.
I need it right here. Cha-ching, cash register.
Yeah, I think the Black album still sells
Oh, dude.
like 5,000 CDs a week.
I believe
Oh
it.
my God!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
Who's
it, man.
buying CDs?
That's one of those perennials. People down south are buying CDs.
That's where a lot of my customers come from.
Right.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
But yeah, it's wild. Like, I mean, they like Lars is an idiot. I'll say that till the day I die.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
He likes to hear himself talk, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like truly saying I love Lars or anything, but like, dude, there's some things you get shit on for where it's like, ugh.
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny, you
man.
can't even call him an idiot. He's a genius.
He's kind of a clown.
businessman. He's a
Right.
clown.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a clown.
But he's a totally smart guy. He's definitely helped steer that ship, even with his lack of drumming ability. His he's a creative manager type. He'd make a great manager.
Right.
frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. He's a big enough prick. where,
Everybody
like, that'd
already
be a
hates
great
him.
job
Right.
for him.
Right, and
Yeah.
managers love to hear themselves talk.
Yeah,
you know, like,
dude.
we know one in particular, booking agent / manager, who loves to hear himself talk, and we kind of love to hear him talk too. I didn't really need a ride. You guys know what I'm talking
God,
about.
I wish you could tell that story.
Yeah, I know. There's-
Someday, man.
There's some famous quotes of like we've talked about it before, but my old studio, the building that was connected to this booking agency, and the guy that we're referring to owned the building, studio in the back, booking agency in the front. And when there was nothing going on, we would just open the door and listen to him, because some of the conversations he would have and the way he would chew people out on the phone and just some of the one-liners and the zingers, and it was like watching stand-up comedy on Netflix or something. Like, I'll never forget, like, he would always have his phone like up super duper loud, so it was kind of like you couldn't hear the guy on the other end, but it was like
You could
Peanuts.
hear like
it was kind of like like Charlie Brown, like quack, 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 quack. So like this guy's raging, and then finally like the other guy, I won't say his name,
guy we're talking
the other guy was like, okay, you done talking? Okay, now I'm going to talk, and I'm going to say a few things, and you're not going to like them. Ready? Here we go. And he just unloads on the guy, and like, me and Evan at the time were just like literally both of the studio doors open, just stop the music and just like, whoa, dude, listen to this.
It used to be like, oh, I'm going to go change guitar strings upstairs or whatever.
Yeah,
And
right.
It's
Sit
like,
up in the upstairs room.
it'd take you 45 minutes because you're just chuckling
Yeah.
at the nonsense that's happening
Just
over there,
hilarious.
man.
Or
It's the best.
you'd hear the whole thing, and then he would come down to the
Yeah.
studio
And
and
then
tell you
recap.
the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we got that.
You're
the
like, oh,
whole
what?
building
Word?
got that,
Mm-hmm.
But it's great, man. I mean, he's a great guy, and again, a really smart manager and very business minded. Still to this day, like Evan occasionally, like he'll call me and be like, hey, this band is trying to screw me on money, or they don't want to pay their deposit, or this or that, and I'm not sure what to do. And like, I'm always like,
WWBJD.
call him.
That's all I can say.
And Evan will call him and go like, hey man, what should I do? And he's like, let me tell you something. Here's what you're gonna do. Like he loves to lay it out for you.
Oh, man. And I tell you what, I love when he lays it out.
It's great.
Because it's fantastic to listen to. Shout out to Evan throwing the Lars Ulrich making mistakes drumming video in the chat.
Oh,
We've got
man.
it pinned at the bottom, so
yeah.
go ahead and get a peek at that. And I will
So
say,
is it just like, is it 3,000 hours long and it's just every show he's ever played? Or
they got a backing track. His shit's not even plugged in. They're like mic'd up. Dude. He's just up there.
I'll say like when Metallica played US Bank Stadium a few years ago, I can't remember what year that was. Like I had never seen Metallica.
17?
And I was like, yeah, probably 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I had never seen
love
Metallica, and I
Kenny
was
in
just
the
like,
house.
God, I fucking love Metallica. Like, there's 4 Metallica records, that I love, right?
Sure.
Everything else can kind of just go away, but like, I
Sure.
love those records, and I was like, I don't think I want to go. Like,
because you're gonna be bummed
I'm
out?
gonna be
Yeah,
super
dude.
bummed out.
Did you
but
go?
I went last minute. So my friend Matt and his wife came to town, and they were actually staying with me, and I brought them. I was like, I'm going to bring you to the show so you don't have to deal with traffic
Right.
and whatever. So we went out to lunch earlier that day, and while we were sitting there, I was just kind of checking like, StubHub or whatever, trying to find tickets just to see like,
StubHub
Am I gonna
sounds like
get
a weird
anything?
porn site, but go ahead.
It is.
Oh, it is. Yeah, just don't do .com, not .net.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Right.
different kind of stuff going on.
But I was just kind of like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll find a cheap ticket. Maybe they'll just be too expensive or whatever. And about an hour before I was going to bring them down there, I was just like, fuck it. There's one for face value. It's like one section away from them. So like lower bowl on the side. I just did it and I was like, cool, I guess I'm going to see Metallica. And I was like, if I just wasted $100, whatever, I can at least say I saw Metallica.
Sure.
Right.
And then
How was it?
like
I bet it was awesome.
Volbeat opened. I'm not into them. Avenged
Yeah.
Sevenfold direct support. Not into them. So I just kind of
Two
stayed out.
wannabe Metallicas. And
Pretty much,
Metallica.
yeah.
That's weird. Yeah.
So
But
I was
yeah.
like, oh, man, let's just get to Metallica so I can know if I can be disappointed or whatever.
Right.
Lights go down.
Let's ruin my night already.
They
God
open
damn
with
it.
Creeping Death, which is my favorite
sick.
Metallica song,
Yeah.
and it was unbelievable.
I believe it. I was gonna.
I was just like,
How could they be
come on.
bad? Like the whole show and shit.
yeah, I was
match,
gonna
like,
say
has
all the
to be
shit
a
I
good
just
thing,
talked
dude.
about Lars and Kirk. I'm sure when it's all said and done, the sound, the production, the whole thing.
It was
like, It's
unreal.
gonna be impressive.
Yeah.
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 All that. Yeah. Again.
And I will, shout out to Lars if you want to get on the show and defend yourself,
We'll
man.
teach you a
We'd
couple
love to
things.
have you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you a couple of rudiments.
I was gonna say I got a paradiddle that'll blow your mind,
Right.
son.
Right. Yeah, Joe does have a pair of diddles on him. I'll tell you what.
That's
Well, yeah. No, I'm
what
sure.
were we talking about?
Yeah. I don't know.
StubHub.
StubHub, pair of diddles. It's really devolving quickly around here.
Oh,
These freestyles, you really
freestyle.
never know
No
where
rules.
they're
I
gonna go.
love these shows. These are some of my favorites.
Yeah, me too. I don't even want to play music. I just want to talk shit tonight. We probably
Yeah.
will, frankly.
You know, it's funny, man. It just so Kenny was saying in the chat that Lars clearly didn't have a studio dog to calm him down, and I was just thinking about like, I wish we could talk a little more about it. But the guy that we were talking about, the old like manager that we were talking
Yeah.
about, how badass would it be to have him in the studio with Lars to be like, listen, man,
Oh, he'd knock
We're
his
gonna-
ass out.
we're gonna
doing
need to talk
just
to
ain't
you.
cutting it. I'm going to tell you right now.
oh man, that
Hawaiian shirt and flip flops.
Yeah, bro.
Telling you that.
2 words come to mind, Lars. Horse shit. He'd be like even harsher than Lars's
Yeah,
dad. Lars's dad in that movie is the best. In Some Kind of Monster, he plays him like Lars is playing his dad some of the music, and he's like
wrong.
plays him this one thing, and he's just like kind of shaking his head. And he's like, I think I don't know. I don't think that's good enough. And Lars is like, really? The management is thinking that might be the first song on the album. And he starts stroking his beard, and he goes, I really don't think so. And it's just like you can just see Lars just crumble, like,
Dude,
oh my god.
People need people in their lives that'll give it to them real
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, man.
Tell your
Lars's
management
dad
to
is
fuck off. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
classic.
You're
I was
making
just
money.
talking.
What an incredible film, though, right?
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
we used
yeah.
to, man, it's funny. I had seen that like once before we had ever met.
Sure.
And then spending time at the old studio, I think I probably saw it like 10 more times
Oh,
after
yeah.
that. 'cause we
I
just-
well, the making of the Black Album, I've watched a
Yeah.
zillion times. But
Yeah.
me and KJ were just talking about this, like how crazy, like you get these 2 movies out of Metallica. Making of the Black Album is like, obviously the Black Album went on to be the biggest thing they've ever done, probably the biggest thing they'll ever do.
Yeah.
Bob Rock producing, which is awesome to see. But like they are doing the thing at that point. They're like long hair, super rockers. They all have their drug problems and their drinking problems, but they're having a blast. And it's like as rock and roll as it can kind of get. And then you fast forward however many years, Some Kind of Monster, really different vibe. And
Right.
and actually I gotta say, like, I can understand putting out the Black Album movie, because it just makes them look cool. It makes them look like even bigger rock stars or whatever. I gotta give them kudos for putting out Some Kind of Monster, which makes them look not
as-
cool
yeah.
and shows how fragile the shit can be. And like, I mean, kind of shows you also like how big of a business that band is. Like, it's pretty fair to say if that band wasn't worth millions of dollars currently and in the future, like, they probably would have stopped working together because
Right.
the relationships have fallen apart. But the business is so strong, it's like it's kind of, they're not allowed to fall apart. So they're bringing in life coaches and they're spending whatever $40,000 a month to have Phil put fucking Post-it notes on the wall, like trying to keep them positive and trying to, it's like they're treating their band like an NFL team or like an NBA team or something, where it's like
an investment, dude.
Look, we gotta whatever it takes, and pretty ballsy of them to put that out. A lot, especially in the metal scene where it's like so much kind of bravado and everything else. Like that's really not something that you've ever seen before. And that movie did really well too. And then they tried to make a third movie, and that movie they lost like $20 million on. And I think that's probably
which they had to just blow.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just like, oh man, I guess my wallet's a little thinner. Is yours? I don't know. I think so. Right. I can't tell when I'm driving my Ferrari around. But yeah, they made I forget what that other movie was. It was like a concert film with then like some like 3D concert with some weird storyline. You remember?
Yeah, dude, I have no
Through the
idea
Never.
what the
Through the
fuck you're
Never.
talking
That's
about.
right. They self-funded it. They thought it was going to be this big windfall, and they literally lost like $20 million on it. No more of those,
Right.
No one's like, oh, a concert is cool. Like, what's this weird storyline? Like, okay, this is dumb. Next, straight to DVD, and no one buys DVDs either. So.
It's and like their S&M stuff too, where they play with the orchestra.
Oh yeah, right.
It's like that stuff's cool. Like I'm not really into it, but I get it.
I can get with behind that stuff.
Like I'm
yeah.
like I prefer like the
interesting.
older, but it's like such a cool concept for a band like that to do, and like
Anytime you get a band together with like an orchestra, I'm like, oh, I'm interested. I'll hear what you guys got to say about it.
I'm sure that conductor is looking at Lars like, really, dude?
Yeah, right. He's just like,
Are you even looking at me, Lars? Come on, man. Who's driving?
Oh man.
Right. Too funny. Let's stop talking about Metallica.
Yeah. So hold on. You were talking about big business and movies. Have you seen Artifact? The 30 Seconds to Mars
yes,
Jared Leto one? Man,
Yeah.
that
Very
one fucking,
interesting.
yeah, that's an eye opener for anybody who is not hip to the business of music.
Yeah,
and all
real
that.
interesting.
Oh, we got a guest in the studio right now.
Another dog?
Yo.
Oh, he's in the house. He likes to pop in and say what up. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I did watch it. Never
I
been
love
the
that
hugest
one,
30 Seconds to Mars fan, but
Leto's a crazy person, but I do love their music.
Leto's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
His whole thing, it's a thing. Like it's gotta
yeah.
be, you know?
He's going for it. He's going for that new age wackadoo thing. New age ding
He's always
dong.
wearing like weirdo hats and shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
7 fucking parkas.
My
and,
buddy
like,
Diaz has got
sweatsuit.
stories of being like at the airport and like Leto's at the airport, like, doing fucking jujitsu at the baggage claim and just like
that sounds about right.
wearing beads.
It's
and
not
acting-
jujitsu though. It's like some shit you never heard of by
Yeah.
like
He's like-
invented by like some burger cook
He's
out
like
of San Diego.
levitating at the China Walk. Right. Just
Yes,
out of
dude.
control.
Yes. Yeah,
but yeah,
that-
interesting movie. I've found that like even bands that I don't like, I'll watch a movie about.
Oh,
it.
hell
I'll
yeah.
watch a
Any, like,
documentary
music
about it.
doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I can find something to enjoy or something to relate to, or just like, oh shit, man, these guys are really dysfunctional, and that's interesting to watch.
Yes,
like
agreed.
the Anvil movie, and like
Yep.
I watched on YouTube like a total documentary about that band Stained.
Oh.
I hate that band.
Yeah,
but
they're
it's
terrible.
Interesting to watch, man, because like that dude Aaron and the guitar player Mike, like I think they just buried the hatchet. I think they really just recently announced they're touring again or something.
really?
That's too bad.
Sorry to
Yeah,
hear that,
right.
but
Whoops.
hopefully they don't ask
Y'all
us to
should.
go out. I mean, never mind. But no, it's like it's just super dysfunctional. They're like
pay?
one of those bands where it's like the guitar player's there from 10 to 6, and then he leaves, and then
Because they
the
can't
singer
even
comes
be in
in
the
at
same
7.
room.
Yeah, because they don't, and it's like then you come in the next day and hear the vocals that got put down last night. I hate these, and then it's like it's a mess, dude. That producer Machine is making a
Yep.
record.
Oh, yeah.
He's a character in himself.
Uh,
I love those rock docs. I'll say that. I'll say this: if
Shut
anyone has any good rock docs,
I got one.
pop them in the chat and
what
let
do
us
you got,
know.
Brad?
Have
Evan
you-
says I miss behind the music.
I miss behind the
So
music
do
too,
I,
yeah,
in a
yeah.
big way, dude. Is that catalog available anywhere? Can you watch the?
I think
Is there
you
a
can buy
streaming
those on
platform like
DVD.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Fuck it,
Yeah, I know.
fuck a DVD.
I think that's where they're available, though.
Jesus.
Unfortunately.
Have-
What do you got, Brad?
Have either of you guys seen Nothing Can Hurt Me, the Big Star?
Oh, I've heard
documentary?
about it. I have not seen it.
It's
That is
really
one I
good.
would like to see.
It's probably been like 4 5 or 6 years maybe since I've seen it. It was on Netflix at the time. I don't know if it still is.
Nothing Can Hurt Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good. I would
Pulling
actually
it
like
up.
to see that again. I was just listening to Big Star the other day. And
I just
was
watched a
like,
little doc about Slint recently,
Really?
too. I can't think of the name of the doc. But pretty interesting. They're one of those bands. They're kind of were lost on me. I didn't know much about them, but like all of the kind of like first wave indie and emo bands loved Slint. Like they were a huge influence on kind of the late mid to late 90s emo and indie bands, kind of the first wavers. Like, you know, they would often get lumped in with like, oh, you know, we love Fugazi, we love whatever. Slint was like always on the list. I've always heard about them. I never really knew much about their music, so I watched the doc, and then, you know,
What's that one called?
I cannot remember. I
see if I
cannot
can
remember
find
what
it.
it's called, and then I also can't remember. It's kind of all about. There's really like one record that they put out that became like this real big cult classic.
Breadcrumb Trail is the Slint one.
Yeah, Breadcrumb Trail is the name of the doc.
So what's
Can't
this?
think of the name of the album. They're like all under. They're like in a pool of water in a quarry, and like just their heads are kind of poking out on the cover of the record. But very, very influential record to a bunch of dudes. I didn't quite get it. The doc was good. I don't quite get the music. Not my thing. I don't know. I needed a little more immediate. I like it catchy. I like it a little more poppy. This shit is deep indie. It's good, but it's like, I don't know. Unless you're way into it or like smoking that good shit, I might, you know, get bored kind of.
Spiderland was that.
Spiderland is the name of the record, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
For
looking
anyone
at
who
it.
loves that stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, Kenny's on it.
Kenny's on it. Kenny's on it. Yeah, I want to know if the people in the chat got a good one. I was
if
thinking.
there's any other docs that we haven't seen.
I'm trying to think of the one like I mean there's a lot of the good Netflix ones. I love the Muscle Shoals one.
Muscle Shoals is great.
Oh, man.
Sound City was
Sound
great.
City.
The back
Yeah,
and
Sound
forth. We
City,
go back
yeah.
to Foo Fighters. All that stuff is great. I mean, those guys are.
I mean only because this was my wheelhouse, but I do miss some of like the fuck around DVDs that used to come with CDs from like all the pop
like
punk
the bonus
bands.
enhanced
Yes,
CD
yes.
with a little extra stuff on it or
Yes,
whatever.
man, that was a good little pocket in technology
Yeah.
that really just didn't last that fucking long.
It's funny
did
when
it?
that no, not really, right?
Oh,
when
man.
that was like people were kind of doing DVDs for a short while. Like I went out, like I was buying more of those than records. Like just because again, I can be entertained by like
Oh,
Motion City put one out. I bought that.
Yep.
Armor
Sonic
for Sleep
Highways.
put one out. I
Yep.
bought that. Sugar Cult put one out. It was like I just grabbed all that stuff, and I would just kind of have like a rack of them at the studio, you know, because lunch break, dinner break, whatever, take a minute off, like put on a movie about some other band, and kind of a fun thing. I'm a big fan of, I don't know where I know that there's hard copies. I'm not sure where you could stream it, but there's the story of Smart Studios, which came out a couple of years ago now, kind of a lo-fi Sound City in a way, but really, you know, extra close to home for me because I grew up kind of in and around Smart Studios as a youngster and watched Butch Vig, you know, watched his career just go from the local guy making records to Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins, and you know, and then it just went from there, from Garbage to Foo Fighters to Green Day to you name it, you know. And it's Running Down a Dream, Tom Petty doc.
Yeah,
Awesome.
classic.
Yeah, I've watched that. I don't know, too many times to count. For
The Smart
sure.
Studios one is on. It looks like you can view it on
The
Prime.
Smart Studio Store. Yeah, it's on Prime. Yeah, so you know that one was really great for me to see, and also like a bunch of the music and a bunch of the photos have my dad in there from 1983, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's I don't know, really that's a really fun one. I recommend that one. It's kind of a lesser known one.
Ooh.
Oh, Marley. Yeah, I've heard about Marley. Haven't seen it. The Rush documentary was good. Beyond the Lighted Stage, I believe it's
Yep.
called.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Flight 666. The
Oh,
Maiden
that's
movie.
incredible.
Come
Dude,
on, yeah.
He flies the jet. Get out of
Oh,
here.
bro.
He
I
flies the
remember.
fucking
I
jet.
remember being like learning that, and I was like, "Wait!" Like my head exploded.
So
Like,
I
what?
went to the theater with
That's so
Dave and Burgo to see that. Like was it the Riverside
Oh yeah,
theater?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
So it was like me, Dave, and Burgo were like, just the normal like whatever dudes, and then every other dude there was wearing a leather jacket.
I'm sure.
Oh, dude.
Kenny, were you there? Kenny, did you go to that with us?
All the Rush dudes. Hey, Sean. Hey,
Kenny's in the chat. I'm not
Brad,
sure.
did you go with us when we tried to go see the Foo Fighters movie? Back and forth. Were you with us? The day it came out, they did like a streamed concert and then played the movie, and we all went to like, I forget.
No,
like way out.
I remember that. I didn't go.
We all went, and it like the stream at that theater got fucked up, and like we ended up like sitting there for like an hour, and it never happened.
Oh,
and then we left or whatever. It was like this big
Kenny
like.
says he was there.
We all went together, and then we didn't even get to see it. And then like, I remember like people like literally like throwing shit at the screen, like what the hell is
sure.
that?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh yeah, Kenny was there with us too at that Flight
At the Rush
666.
thing? Oh yeah, Flight 666. I thought you were talking about the Rush one.
It was funny though, because like everybody's just kind of sitting there waiting for the movie to start, and like the lights go down, and you just like hear beer cans opening,
dude.
you smell
Weed
weed. I
in
was
the
just
air.
like,
It's just like being at the gig.
I was like, yeah,
dude.
it was
the
pretty
metal
funny.
dudes are out, and they play by their own rules,
Yep.
man. Right.
Kenny did mention in the chat too, Decline of Western Civilization as a documentary.
Oh yeah, 1 and 2.
I don't remember a ton about 1. It didn't interest me a whole lot like when it came out, but part 2,
Is that the Metal
unbelievable.
Years?
That's the Metal
With
Years.
Chris Holmes
first one's like
dumping
the punk
vodka in
one,
his
right?
eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
man.
that?
The first one's like the punk one.
More
Yeah,
punk.
yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Okay.
Part
Yep.
2 is the metal, like
I was-
Chris Holmes from
yeah.
Wasp.
The Chris
Like-
Holmes shit is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just the most drunk you've ever seen anyone. Literally just dumping vodka into his eyes.
It's funny, dude.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I know
Right.
about that documentary.
While floating in a pool with his like 70-year-old mother
Yeah.
sitting next to him on the side of the pool, just like shaking her head. Just that, that will open your eyes to like, wow, rock and roll can be pretty darn depressing. I
Yeah.
get like for some guys, holy Moses,
oh man.
that's a great one.
Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. Have
Oh
you
yeah,
guys
I
seen
watched
that
all
series?
of that.
Seen that.
So
I watched
good.
all of that.
I've
Really
like
good.
bookmarked and never watched
Yeah.
it. Have
Yeah.
you
Really
seen
good.
the Wu-Tang one on Hulu?
Oh
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Really
I can't
good.
wait. There's
Yep.
got to be another season coming
Yeah.
sometime soon.
That
the way
shit's
they
so
ended
good.
that.
That shit's so good.
Yeah, loved it.
Oh, good music docs, man.
And
Y'all
Mike
came
It
with
Loud.
some good
That's
ones.
Yep, Brandy with him, Mike It Loud. That's a great
Oh
one.
yeah,
Yep.
that's dude. Mike It Loud is probably like, I bought that on like Apple Movies or whatever, so it's on my Apple TV. I bet I watch that 2 or 3 times a year just to like as a guitar player. That's
It's so
a good
cool
one
to
to
just
tune
like
into.
watch those dudes just drool over Jimmy Page.
I know.
Like,
How
Edge,
the fuck did
Edge
Edge get in on that, man?
Edge?
No, like come on. There's got to be some other dude. I'm not hating.
That's funny because I would have said the exact same thing about Jack White. Like,
See, I would
Edge
take-
makes sense to me. Like Jack
go the
White,
other way.
you're not a guitar hero.
No, he's like he's like
I'm not
a
even
cult
hating.
No,
He's
and
cool,
I'm not
but,
hating
like,
on Edge
he's not
either.
a guitar hero.
Yeah,
like
he's
Edge
like
is.
Jack White's like he's a little. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think more of like just kind of a rock and roll hero. Like he's just like he's a whole fucking character.
Yeah,
man,
he's
you
a
know.
total character. but yeah.
Celebrity.
Edge.
Yeah.
I like Edge Man mostly because like I mean, don't laugh when you say this, but certainly my whole guitar style is like how much can you do with how little? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and
Like
it's
how-
awesome how he like reveals. He's like, check out
This
this
is
part.
all
and
I'm
it's all like,
playing,
ding-a-ding-a-ding,
2
it's all
notes.
this shit, and then he's like, let me turn off these 17 pedals, and it's just like he's playing a D chord.
yeah,
Like, oh
dude.
shit, man!
I
right?
do like that. I do love when those guys sing in that documentary, and he kind of like he's singing back there, and he's like, "Fuck this, man! I'm not even like you can tell he's
Right.
not even trying to
Right.
like."
Yeah, it's
He
just
can
so-
sing
it's
a
so
little bit, but
classic,
when
and
it's
then
like-
Jimmy Page just starts playing a riff, and those guys just go slack jawed, like, oh shit,
Yeah, man.
that dude is the dude. He's the reason a lot of people play guitar.
The version their little version of the Weight that they play at the end of that is
yeah.
like honestly, I'd rather listen to that than like the OG version from the band. Not obviously a classic tune, but
right.
I just love when those dudes, man, in that tune. I love when they show each other their songs.
Yeah,
That's a
cool.
really fun part too. That's a good one. Yeah.
There's it's on YouTube too. I don't think it's a proper like full length documentary, but there's kind of a mini doc about the Traveling Wilburys on YouTube. That's a really good one.
I'm gonna pull that up.
Yeah, I don't remember. I watched it. I rewatched it again recently, but I mean, this it doesn't get much cooler. Petty, Dylan, Jeff Lynne, George Harrison, Roy Orbison. Like, they got
Mount
some-
Rushmore.
They got
Yeah,
some, yeah,
right,
Mount Rushmore
right,
band.
yep.
Totally, man. They should have just called it Mount Rushmore, Mount Rockmore.
What about? I remember this one from the old studio years and years ago. Aerosmith, The Making of Pump.
Oh yeah.
Just watched a little Making It Pump just the other night again.
Nice.
I had hit Chris Johnson to it. He hadn't seen it. I was just like, dude, you got to get in on that.
It's awesome.
Oh man, There's so many good ones now that
Steven
we're starting
Tyler
to get
says some of the
rolling
most
through these things.
ridiculous shit ever. Funky Monks, the Red Hot Chili Peppers one. That's a good one. I watched that one quite a few times.
Just coming back to like bands that don't necessarily love or whatever. Like I know that I don't think you have any hate for the Chili Peppers, but like not your favorite thing.
Yeah, well, I would say not anymore. Or
Yeah, okay.
somewhere in that late middle school, early high school, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, the one right before. Yeah. I was into it around then.
Yeah.
Okay. Frusciante is a great guitar player.
Man.
Chad Smith's a great drummer. Yeah. I like Flea.
Who doesn't?
My only real problem with the Chili Peppers is I'm not into Anthony Kiedis. Really. Like,
you don't like his voice or what?
don't really like his voice. I feel like he's one of the luckier dudes in rock because I don't know. I don't think he's that good for me.
I mean, and I get it. Like I said, not throwing shade or anything.
No, he's sold a few records, but like,
I mean,
on
obviously
the songs
there's
like,
plenty of people that like him. He doesn't need me.
Yeah, on the songs like Under the Bridge, where he's really got to sing, you can tell he's like struggling to sing.
Yeah, he's just he's a good front man, not a great singer. Yeah. I guess that would be fair to say.
I'm also a fan of like I don't know how to say this correctly. Like there's dudes who can't sing that I love to hear sing. And,
me too.
And frankly, if you want to go into like real classics about that, I fucking love Bob Dylan. And there's people who can't stand listening. He's not a good singer at all.
Not a great singer. I totally agree.
But I love his voice.
I also love Neil Young. Not necessarily on paper, at least, the best singer. He hits the right chord somehow though, because he's writing these great lyrics and like same thing with Dylan, kind of like. Mm-hmm. It's almost not about like listen to my beautiful singing voice. It's like, yo, I really wrote this shit. Like this is
story to tell.
Yeah.
I'm really bearing my soul on this shit, and I can connect to that. And I've always kind of appreciated that because I'm not a great singer, so I like to look up to like, oh man, Neil Young got away with it, Dave Grohl got away with it, Bob Dylan got away with it. Like you don't have to be like. I mean, some people are just naturally gifted and can sing like a bird. A lot of people, most people. Right. Cannot and have to really try really hard to sing. Singing is really fucking hard. It just is.
Ironically, I really love the Wallflowers and Jacob Dylan's voice. He's like, it's like, oh, you're Bob Dylan if Bob Dylan could sing.
Yeah, right.
I get it, man. Like you can sing. Yeah, right. Like you can sing, but the timbre and everything is like still there.
Yeah, it's in there.
The character of the voice.
It's in there. Yeah, man, that'd be a tough gig to be a musician, singer-songwriter, and like your dad is Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
I mean, he did well. He did really well for himself. But man, having that hanging over your head would be like, you'd think he'd be like go into like painting cars or something like just something else,
being an amateur race car driver or some shit.
It's like Sting's son has a band.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I mean, now that we start going through them, like you want to talk about how about kids that like are probably overshadowing their parents at this point? Miley Cyrus.
Sure. Oh yeah,
she's
totally.
Got pipes like a motherfucker.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Oh yeah, in every way. You ever watch the Taylor Swift doc on Netflix? I still have not watched it.
I watched it.
Did you watch it? Is it good?
I watched the Lady Gaga one too.
Ooh, I love Lady Gaga.
Yeah, that one's really good too. Yeah, they're all good. The Taylor one wasn't one of my favorites, but it was good. Again,
the Miss Americana one.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I still have not watched that.
I mean, it's about like it's a story that has to be told. Like. It's less about like the true like making of a record or whatever. It's like kind of more about this story, and it's a little bit sad, but
yeah.
Brandy says she tried reading Anthony Kiedis' biography and it was terrible. That's
I've only read a couple rock books. They can be really hit and miss. The documentaries seem like I can enjoy them all. The books, I don't know. You either tear through the whole thing in a couple of nights, or you read like 2 chapters and you put it down and never pick it up again.
Yeah,
where's the pictures?
Yeah, right.
No pictures, right?
Man, I read the
glossy middle
the Travis
section.
Barker one. Man, you'd hate it.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Right.
Yeah. If you don't hate him, it's good.
Yeah, I don't know about old Barker. I mean, he's good.
I mean, he's a better drummer than Lars by a little bit.
Yeah. But he wants to keep showing you how good he is. That's my problem with him. Like, play me a beat, man. I know you got all those fills. I hear them all the time. Like, just play me a solid
His
groove.
beats are fills.
Keep time, man. Yeah. Play me some time. Impress me. Play me Back in Black and don't do a fill. Can you do it? I bet he can't.
Honestly, that's some real talk right there, though.
Can you do
that
it?
statement. Play
Right.
me Back in Black and don't, you know what I mean?
Don't
Whoa.
embellish and make it feel good the whole way through. Make the
Right.
pocket strong the whole way through.
Yeah.
Show me that. That's not, you would think like, oh man, that's meat and potatoes drumming. That's easy.
It's not.
No, it is
Yeah.
not.
I don't think he could do it.
It's really, yeah.
I think he would refuse.
Yeah. He'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, that song's whack.
Yeah.
I'm into this. And then his drums are just spinning and
All
shit.
he's got is his dance moves popping.
Oh yeah, if you give Ollie a little scratch in the
Yeah,
back, he
like,
does a
where's that
little.
spot?
Yeah, he
He'll
was
do the
moonwalking
little-
for
Got that
Yeah.
doggy twerk situation. Yeah.
Front and center on camera, dude. Why don't you
Let
let
him
him know?
You gonna
Boosh.
say something about it? Aye.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't do that.
Oh yeah, Brandy mentioned Scott Weiland's son.
Oh yeah.
Sounds just like him. Got kicked out of the band he was in with Slash's son for drug use. Which happened like 2 months ago. Like it just happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Talk about like the circle of life or whatever. Like, good Lord.
When
Weiland died right down the road.
Yeah.
He was at a hotel literally about 4 blocks from here when he passed away.
when I went down to Iowa with Kenny. Kenny was still living up here. Kenny's from Iowa. A band that we both work with called Index Case was playing.
Oh, yeah.
Laserfest, big radio festival down
Okay.
there.
Yep.
And super hot, middle of summer, big open field in Iowa. You're gonna have a long day no matter what, right?
Oh, yeah, right. You're
But
at
it was
sun
like
no
the
matter
lineup
where
was
you go.
crazy, like
Right.
all day, just really good bands. And Jeremy's favorite band, Stained,
Yes.
was the co-headliner along with Stone Temple Pilots. Well, this was 2008 or 9, 2008, I think. So, I mean, Stone Temple Pilots have been around forever
Right.
at this point.
Yeah,
Huge,
yeah.
right? Millions of records. They ended up, Stained kept playing. And we were just
Someone's
like-
on the side of the stage like,
Yeah, like,
stretch
We
it
were
out,
just kind of like,
boys."
why? Aaron Lewis is just talking and talking and talking and talking.
Right.
And like,
Filling.
somehow, like, we got word, like, nobody knows where Weiland is.
Kill some
And
time,
it's
bro.
like past their start
Right.
time or
Start
whatever.
checking the local trap house.
Right.
Not to hate, but I mean, come on,
Right.
man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
where he was.
Right.
Right.
And, so Stain just like took forever for their set just to like,
2000.
Well, they
fill
have
the
a
time
deep
or
catalog of
whatever.
hits, so you're
Right.
in a happy place.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna play "Been a While" again. All right, it's been a while.
But like nobody had seen the dude. He's probably got a needle in his arm all day. And like
It's sad.
all
man.
of a sudden, out of nowhere, limo comes flying up to the stage. Band comes on. Weiland fucking nails it for the next hour. And
Right.
It was just like unreal.
Got back
Rock
in the
and
limo,
roll,
Back in
brother.
the limo, back to the drug house.
Yep.
That's so
yep.
funny,
Yeah.
man.
Maybe
Two,
back to the hotel because he
Yeah.
already had scored what he needed for the rest of the day. I mean, that sounds super harsh of me to say, and it is, but it is sad.
Reality
But
of
it's
the
also like,
situation.
come on, man, fucking, I don't know, figure it out, dude. You're living the dream. Buds and suds.
Listen to
That's all you need.
Yeah, right.
Buds and suds, and that's where it ends. Everything else is nothing but trouble. Just period.
Get that weeble wobble going, brother. Man.
We don't have those in Des Moines.
Yeah, the trap.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Might be all you have.
Right.
Bro. No, I'm just kidding.
It might be on the other side of a cornfield, but it's out there somewhere. God damn it.
What? That's where Zombie Burger's in Des Moines, right?
zombie burger. Yeah. Love a good zombie burger.
Yeah.
Some taco apocalypse as
Yeah.
well.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Taco apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
You never been?
No, I haven't. I've heard about
It's
it.
Oh,
good,
yeah.
man.
I think I've been. There's a crazy pizza spot there.
Fongs?
too. I can't. Maybe I don't remember. My buddy Chad took me there when we were driving through.
Eric, what's the crazy pizza spot, man? Help us
I
out.
think it's in Des Moines. I don't remember.
Des
Moines.
It's funny, dude. The first NAMM show that I'd ever gone to, my band at the time played at like the hotel. Fongs. He's saying Fongs.
It must have been Fongs then.
Brad had it. Oh my God. SDP and Council Bluffs. Are you kidding me? That's sketchy. First NAMM we ever played in Anaheim or whatever. I'll cut the story short. We ended up somehow like we were leaving our hotel, which is about a mile from like all of the shit that was happening and
Right.
where we were playing.
Yeah.
Guitars and everything on our back. We're walking because
Right.
we're broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Like we barely had money to like pay the hotel bill.
I
A
got it,
dude
right.
was dropping off a family in a limo, and I kind of leaned in and I was like, "Yo, dude, where you headed?" And he's like, "I'm done. What do you want?" And I was like, "Hey, we're going right here. Like, how much money do you want to like drop
Just
us
so
off?"
we can pull up in a limo.
He was like, $40. We reached in our pockets. It was like all we had. And I was like, right here. We rolled up in a limo, dude, right up to the hotel front. And people were like backing up, taking pictures, and like no clue who we were, dude. Clowns.
I forgot about that story.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure
man.
you texted me when you got out of the limo.
Bro.
I was like, dude, guess what we just
I have
did?
some pictures from the limo. The guy was like, there was beers, and she's like, take whatever you want. So we're filling our guitar cases with like a bottle of champagne and stuff. On stage, I was like, didn't have anywhere to put this shit. So it's like on stage behind Corey is all this like booze that we jacked from the limo.
Nice. Surprised you didn't just line that shit up on top of
We
your
should have.
cab.
We should have.
Yeah,
we should.
How we do it.
That was a good time. Yeah, that was probably my best limo experience. So I feel you, Scott.
I love a good limo story. I don't have many, but I do have one. It was right after Gratitude made the video for Drive Away, which I wish I could show you, but we'd get copyright struck, I'm sure, right? It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube, Gratitude Drive Away. We made that video. As we were making that video, our two crew guys at the time, Rudy and Jordan, had to leave with the gear and drive from Los Angeles to like New Jersey. Yeah,
rented the gear from the wrong spot.
Yeah. Well, we were all in LA doing this. Like, we had just finished a record. We're making the video. We're kind of doing all the label stuff, and they were putting us right out on tour with Jimmy Eat World. Tour started on the East Coast in New Jersey, so those guys had to split. This is before the bus. They had to drive a van from Los Angeles to like I think Jersey. I don't know, all the way east.
It does not get much further than that, right?
So we finished the video. We had a day off while they were driving, and then we flew, from LA to Jersey. And when we got there, we had a couple things left because of the video. Like, we wanted our guitars in the video, not like rental guitars or whatever. So we had guitars. We had a few things that we kept that we needed to bring. So we had some road cases, and we had all of our luggage and all that shit because we're about to start this tour. We sent a few things. Hey, there's a cat in here now too. We sent a few things in the trailer, but we had a lot of stuff with us. So we fly all the way across. We get there, and I think the label thought, like, we're really going to give these guys the treatment or whatever. We'll have a limo pick them up at the airport. So limo comes, and we're all out on the stoop with, 4 or 5 flight cases, 2 big Pelican cases, all this luggage.
The gear.
The stuff, And this limo driver pulls up and is like, where the fuck do you think you're putting all that? And we're like, I don't know. We thought a van was coming, like, and he's like, well, you ain't putting that on my leather seats. And we're like, well, then you better call someone with a van. Like, it turned into this whole thing. And I think we ended up getting someone to come, like, with a super shuttle van or something. And we put all the gear in the van. But we're like, but we kept the limo driver.
Sure,
like,
he's paid, man.
We're going to get the van. We'll put the shit in the van, and we're still riding in this limo because someone paid for it or whatever. And, like, we got in the limo, and the limo was, like, all janky. And there's, like, all the, like, champagne glasses and shit, but, like, nothing in the coolers and stuff. And we were just like, we'd have been better off in the van, dude. Like, I think Jonah literally called the label and was like, what was that? Don't do that. Send a van, Like,
it's like an old one with velvet, like, holes in the seats and shit.
Yeah, where it's like, he's going to put his divider window up, and that's just, like, getting stuck halfway, and he's, like, driving and pulling it up. But it was just so funny.
You get better service than an Uber today, man.
Oh, totally.
Fucking Butterfingers
so
and
funny.
shit.
Yeah, we'll send him a limo. And the driver's like, what the hell? You can't put all that stuff on these leather seats. And we're like, at this point, yeah, we can, dude. This limo's like 1987.
All I can think of is, I remember putting my feet up on this couch.
I didn't put my feet on this couch. Yeah, I remember putting my feet on this couch.
I love that shit, man. Council Bluffs, they call that a Tuesday. Well said.
Right.
Well said. Fongs, all right, we're nailing the spots.
Oh, Iowa.
We know what's going on in Iowa.
It's been a while.
Not much.
It's been a while since I've been in Iowa. We played. Where's Diamond Joe Casino? Is that Dubuque? Played there a handful of times.
There's something like kind of just right into Iowa too. Is that Diamond Joe? Like,
there's another one.
No, that's a different casino.
That's
there's
different.
Another Diamond.
Yeah, so I think
right
Dubuque is where you're thinking.
We've got some Iowan
Dubuque,
people in the
there's
house.
The Diamond Joe. I think it's called like the Mississippi Moon Bar, which is inside of the casino. It's like a
Dubuque.
showroom. We
So
played there a handful of times.
Word.
Sounds like we got a new date for the Fuzzard mixing, right?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Iowa,
right? We were gonna go down to Iowa last weekend on Saturday, but unfortunately, the studio down there, apparently they had some pretty bad weather roll through, and they have a big SSL recording console that was, usually with those big old ones, you don't really turn them off. You kind of always let them on. You need them to be hot, and when you turn them off and turn them back on, that's when problems start showing up with the power supply. So these guys just run these things 24/7. But unfortunately, like, I don't know if the building took lightning or what, but their power supply got zapped, and that's a big problem. So we had to cancel our mix day down there, but we are planning on going back on May 15th at this point. So we're going to get down there. We're going to mix some stuff from Fuzzard. I just listened to they just finished I just finished a mix and sent it over for mastering, and just got the master back today for the next single, next video, which is called Viral Connection.
I finished the artwork tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Nice. We're just bang. Me and Brad, we're getting it done.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, so that they have a new video already in the can. Did you have anything to do with that reel that got put up today?
I made the reel.
Oh,
I made the reel and sent it to Brett.
Real expert now,
Right.
dude.
I sent it to Brett, and he added the track to it. So
Right. Yeah, so those guys are cooking right along. Brett will be over here Thursday night. We're going to be back over at Flowers tomorrow night doing some more of that Attention kind of redo song from the past that we've been working on. So Brad and Joe will be joining me over there tomorrow night. We don't go live over there, although we've been starting to talk about a way to do that. I talked to Chris a little bit about that.
I was
There's
gonna ask you
currently
talking
not
about
hardwire in the studio for internet, but he's going to start working on that because he wants it anyways, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to go live from there, but we are catching footage over there. There is going to be something, some way, or maybe a couple things that will happen with this Attention song and the video that we've shot. We have a few different ideas, but we're definitely going to bring that into the show at some point once it is kind of together. But yeah, we're doing bass tomorrow night. Should just be a shorty. And then I think I'm going to go over to Perner's house after that and do some work with him. We're going to do, I think, if all pans out, Friday night, Soul Asylum is just going to go jam. Old school at the rehearsal space. Kind of for, I guess kind of a combined birthday party. Both me and Dave have birthdays coming up over the next couple of days here. And Dave said, and God bless him, he said, you know what? For my birthday, I just want to get together with the band and just jam. Like, just have fun. Not run a set list, not have an agenda. Just go be in high school again and, have a couple of drinks and, play some Hendrix covers or whatever the hell we get into and just go have fun. And I can't wait. I told Janine the other night when she asked me if I was available. I said, of course I'm available. And I, too, could use a little rock therapy because there just hasn't been enough of that. I mean, usually at this point in the year, we've already would have played, 25, 30 shows easy by now, even just with the weekend one-offs here and there or whatever. Not to mention we'd be getting ready for a spring or summer tour right now. And, right now we're not doing that, so it's a total bum out. But we are starting to get some plans together. I'll tell you about it, Brad, after the stream. Sorry, stream. This is where I plant that seed, but I got an email about some potential dates today with a very interesting other band.
Happy to hear.
Yeah. So I'll tell Brad, and if anyone has bugged the studio, you'll find out about it. And for you couple of folks out there who are like, what is he talking about? I can't tell you yet. Just not my lane. Give the dog a little stream up. Yeah, he wants to go out in the yard and do his thing. But yeah, we, like I said earlier, we just kind of wanted to have a freestyle night tonight. I've been under the weather a little bit today, sneezing like crazy. I loaded up on cold medicine right before this thing, and I'm kind of feeling it. I kind of feel like my head's in a little bit of a bubble, but I haven't sneezed 10,000 times. I haven't even sneezed yet. I shouldn't even say that.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it.
I don't know if I asked you or not. I think I talked to you, Joe. But did you have any side effects? We're all like half vaxxed at this point.
Yeah, all three of us are half jabbed. We got one more coming up. I had the sore arm thing.
Sure.
The next day I had the sore arm, and a couple days after that, for 2 or 3 days, I had some mild headaches that were different than headaches I've gotten in the past. I don't know if that was tied together or
Which
coincidental.
shot did you get?
I got the Pfizer.
I got the Pfizer too. Certainly the sore arm. There was like a 10-minute period the next day where I was like, I'm going to throw up. For sure I'm going to throw up. Never did, and then I was fine. I have my second one on Friday.
Yep.
I had a real sore arm, and that I remember thinking, oh, buddy. I know.
What are you gonna say about it?
I remember thinking, I think that the night I got the shot, I fell asleep, and I think I woke up a couple hours into sleeping and was a little bit sweaty. I think I did a little like sweat something out that
How'd
first
you
night.
fare?
I had like the night that I got it, like it was such a long day. Like I was working, and then I found like a last minute appointment 2 hours away after not finding anything for like 2 or 3 days. So I was like, I'm just gonna take it and go. So I drove out there and got everything done like within a half an hour and left town to head back. Got a little headache on the way back, stopped at the office to like finish my work day. And by the time I got home at like 8:30, I was like, man, I'm just kind of beat from the day. And like my shoulders and my neck and head were all pretty sore. And I didn't really think too much of it. Woke up in the morning and just like, wow, so tired. But after like 15, 20 minutes, I was fine throughout most of the day. But that night, the headache came back. Same headache. 4 nights in a row.
I got lucky,
a couple
man.
of mild headaches afterwards. I'm really excited to see Kenny. Kenny just said he got the second Pfizer shot on Saturday, and it felt the same as the first. I'm happy to hear
I'm
you
hoping
say
I get
that.
out that easily.
I've heard a lot of people say that number 2 shot is a doozy compared to number 1. I've heard like up your water, up your vitamins, like do a lot the day or two before, really get it going. But I've heard it's like it's a little more intense than the first.
Yeah, the number 2 is supposed to be that one. I also heard that like people who had COVID, their number 2 shots were like ass kickers.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd seen my sister after she got her second one, and she was a train wreck, man.
I never got the antibody test. I'm partially thinking.
I'm certain you had it. I think you were like one of the first
I think I might have
15
been
people
one of the
in the
very first,
country,
right.
dude.
Yeah.
But the only interesting thing about that,
I'm convinced.
if I did have it, so I'll just say it on the stream. I got the last Soul Asylum tour. I got pretty sick. Right after Kansas City, I got pretty sick.
This was like January of 2020.
February.
Late January. Okay,
early
late January.
Feb,
All
right.
right.
I got pretty sick right after Kansas City. We had a good show in Kansas City. I went to sleep that night on the bus. I woke up. We didn't have far to drive that night. We went to a hotel. I woke up at the hotel just covered in sweat, just soaking wet. Got out, like pretty much got dressed, marched straight out of the bus, ended up sitting on the fork of the trailer behind the bus and threw up a bunch. And then I was sick for like 2 or 3 days, like just the whole thing, zero energy. I don't know if I still had a fever, but really lethargic. Like I remember we played somewhere in Denver, and it was like the dressing room was down like 12 stairs. And I remember like walking up those 12 stairs to go to showtime, like up to the stage, and like being like, whew, I'm out of gas on stair 8 and I got to go play for 2 hours. Like, oh man. So I felt real bad for, I think Fort Collins and then Denver. I didn't get much juice out of me because I was dying. But then I started feeling a lot better, but I had a wicked cough for quite a while after that. The only thing about that is I lived in a tube with the rest of my bandmates and crew, and no one else got sick. So it's like if I had it, I feel like we would have went
around. But that being
quick.
said, there was certainly like a lot of like asymptomatic carriers that we've discovered too. I just remember talking to you at one point. You were like, "Yeah, I'm super sick," or on the tail end of this or whatever. And I was like, "Huh?" And then all the shit popped, and it was like, "That's what you had."
Yeah,
it seemed like it.
Yeah, you called like right after the Colorado stuff. I think you had a day off.
I was hurting,
and you were like, you said, I remember you said you're like, because like. There was talk of like this.
We were just
this
kind of
learning about it.
Right?
And you had said like it doesn't seem like the bus flu, you know?
Yeah, right. There's usually a little like bus sickness that goes around. There's just you're in a bunch of recycled air with 7 or 8 or 9 people all day, every day, all night, every night. You're sleeping in bunks, stacked,
and then you see a billion different people every day.
Yeah, and we're doing like meet and greets and stuff, which is awesome, but it's also like that means like shaking 50 hands and like talking to 50 people or however many people every day. And it's, back in the old days, BC, before COVID, that was no big deal. Now I think, that shit's going to be a little different now.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
I'm
we'll
cool
see.
with that. I don't need to shake another hand. No offense to anybody. Maybe you don't want to shake mine. That's cool.
Yeah.
All good. You shouldn't.
I wasn't sure. Like, you never know, like with a meet and greet thing, like if it's going to be fun or if it's going to be weird or awkward or, I don't know. I'll speak for only myself, but I think everyone in the band feels the same way, which is like, we're just dudes, like it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it should be anything special to meet us. Maybe,
it's
Perner's
not,
maybe a little
me.
more than just a dude. He's a, Perner's a legit star. I'm not. But still, it's a feel. You always think like, oh man, I don't know, this is gonna be weird or whatever. But we actually really had a blast doing it. We met a lot of really great people. We heard some really awesome stories. Like met a family of one of the girls that was found in the runaway train video. Like,
oh wow,
that was mind blowing. We had a couple in Chicago at the Metro. The guy proposed at the meet and greet. Like,
I love that place.
Shit like that, or like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few that stick out in my mind. The people, the family that came up and like, they had the picture of the girl like from when she was 12, like the one they used in the video, and she wasn't there, but she was like, hey, the video found her. Everything got patched up. She's now living here, and she has a family, and where everyone's great.
That's so cool.
Just like.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking amazing, man. Like, there was a couple different things where like me and Ryan are like, we better slide behind the scrim, dude, because I might tear up a little bit. Like, this is intense, dude,
I bet.
But really, so we actually really enjoyed it. It ended up being really fun. People bring us little weird things, little candies and toys and stuff. It was
Dude,
like, this is awesome.
I miss that shit about tour. Like, I remember my very first tour, like learning, like fans would bring you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
Yeah, man. And so I started figuring out. I'm like, oh,
you're like, I need black socks, deodorant,
dude. I started
medium
getting
t-shirts.
like, what's catering tonight? I don't want that. Somebody bring me a cheeseburger, some Five Guys.
The wonders of social media,
bro. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Well,
shit.
Yeah,
Jeremy, you remember that's how we found a place to stay in Florida on that And We Dance tour.
Oh man, that was
crowdsourced.
Literally threw it out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Who's got a bed?
Right.
No, we ended up with a
it.
condo
Yeah.
for like 5 days. Or
No.
Yeah, we ended up with a pretty nice condo. Right.
Word.
I mean, dude, in the old days, that was it. Like, the whole reason someone would stay at merch all night was, A, you needed to sell every T-shirt or CD or whatever you had because you needed that gas money. But B, you'd have these little transactions with people and you'd kind of feel them out. And if they weren't super creepy, it was like, hey, you wouldn't by chance have a floor we could sleep on tonight or like or whatever? Because, especially in the early days and like when you're out on the road, you're just making enough. You're really literally just making enough to just keep it moving. And like, to get a hotel room is like, you could do it. But again, when you did do it, it'd be one room for however, like whether there's 4 people in the band or 5 people in the band or a couple people in the band and maybe a roadie or a tech or a tour manager or a friend or whatever. It'd be like, all right, one room, you two go in, go around back, open the side door,
let us
and
in.
the other 7 of us will roll in. It's 2 to a bed, each bed, nuts to butts, however you want to do it. And then everyone else is on the floor.
One in the tub.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
maybe
dude,
someone
I've slept
sleeps
in
in the tub. If you're brave or if like the receptionist is cool, maybe you try
get
to
a
ask for
cot.
like a rollaway, but then you start planting the seed like, well, there's only supposed to be 2 of you in the room. What do you need a rollaway for? Like, always tricky, but it's not like, you're not on a van tour like, okay, we're rolling into the Days Inn and we're going to get 5 rooms or whatever.
No.
Like, I remember when I first started touring with Soul Asylum, the first flight date we did, we're all in the lobby and Janine's like, all right, I'll get us checked in. Okay, we're all sit down or whatever. Maybe get a water from the, ooh, the water's got lemon in it. All right. The Dixie cup, waiting patiently.
Superstar.
And then she
Perks.
came through and just started handing out, here's your key, here's your key, here's your key. And I'm like, we get our own rooms?
Yeah.
All right.
Done come up, bro.
Welcome to the big time.
It's like those Brett casino dates.
Oh, yeah. Right. How many people in the band? Okay, 7. All right. Well, here's your 7. Like, yeah, those casino dates are great because it's like you go from like 7 people in one room to like 7 people with 7 double rooms.
Yeah.
Like you always
With
get
suites.
the double room.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my suitcase goes on this bed, and I'll be on this bed. And then maybe tomorrow night, whoop.
I always do
I
that.
don't need
Like,
the maid service. I'll just switch beds.
if I travel and I end up with like a second bed, I'm like, oh, cool. One for me, one to set my pizza on.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
totally.
goes for all my
Suitcase
shit.
gets fully everything, blah, 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 like.
Oh,
Too
man.
funny.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to get back to that.
What's going on in the chat? What's Diane? My favorite ever meet and greet was when I first met Jeremy. Or first met you, Jeremy. Oh yeah, I remember this at the in Rochester. That's right. Right. I mean, dude, this just doesn't. It sounds crazy to read. So Diane met me at a meet and greet in Rochester right after Soul Asylum was inducted into the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame. So it's kind of a good day. That's a little bit better than 7 guys in a double room or whatever.
It's a step up.
What's his name? Maury Glover came down too and did a little interview. I forget one of the dudes from the Current. One of the dudes from the. I don't remember. There's
Mark
Diane,
Wheat.
do you remember?
Cool. I know Maury Glover was there. Did a little bit that was on the news that night. Whitey says casino dates are the best with Brett. Whitey was there. Whitey was Brett's lighting guy for a while. And I'll never forget, we were in Quincy, Illinois, and Whitey cut us a deal and said, hey, if you'll play a song called Life Goes On. Remember that one?
Yep.
He loved that song. He was like, if you'll play Life Goes On, which we had not practiced, it was not part of our set, kind of a deep cut for us or whatever. But he's like, if you'll play that gig or that song, I'll do lights for you guys tonight.
Oh, sick.
So instead of having like
the
house guy who's like, okay, the opening band's about to start and here's 4 cans on and when they stop, I'll turn them off. Like,
right.
we worked up the song quick in the van, made sure everyone had it or whatever. We played it that night. And we went out and did the thing, and Whitey had that shit, smoke machines and the movers, and it was the best gig of that too.
Yeah,
I bet.
It is crazy how much, like, I don't know.
It's a huge part of the
when
experience.
you're a band
man.
on stage, like I like to make fun of like the whole smoke and mirrors and lights and this and that, but like something does happen where it just feels cool when the lights are cool, you know?
Bro.
And when they're bad, they're bad. But when they're look at Whitey remembers that it was yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
man.
But when you get a cool light show, like I swear, it's inspiring. It's just like having good sound on
Right.
stage versus not having good sound. It's like when everything sounds great, or whether you have in-ears or monitors or whatever. But when everything sounds great, it's inspiring. You play better, you know.
Yeah.
And when the lights are moving, you turn around and look at your drummer, and you can't see him because there's like shit crisscrossing. You're just like, I can't see you, but fuck yeah, dude! You know, like you're just having a blast,
Dude.
That was great. That was a great night. That was one of my favorite shows of that tour for sure. And like, I swear, having that light show and everything else, like, we're brand new to that city. We'd never played that city before. We're there with Brett, whatever. These people don't know us from anybody, and we looked like $1 million, and we sounded good. So people were just like, "Okay,
I'll buy that CD."
They're great. They must
Yeah.
be great. Look at the shit they got. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't have any of that shit. It was all Brett shit. But Whitey was nice enough to turn it on.
Everyone
turn it on
likes the
for us.
dog, Mike. Hell yeah.
Mike,
Dude,
how's that record going, man? I see you guys been in the studio. You were in the studio, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, right? Mingy in the house. How you doing, Ming?
do you remember the Jimmy show that we went to? The lights there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. So
Is
the
that
light.
where we hung out with Rick.
Yeah,
Afterwards?
yes. So the light setup at that show, man, was literally just like a wall with a grid. It was like a grid of
yeah.
lights. That's all it was, and that was probably one of the best light shows I've ever seen.
Jimmy always does the really cool
They have a
production.
good set,
They keep
yeah.
it streamlined. They don't bring a ton of shit. It's not over the top. It always looks really
It's well
cool.
choreographed and
A
shit.
couple tours later, they had like those giant street lights.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That
remember
was-
that.
that was
sick.
cool.
Yep.
Yep.
I was actually thinking about them when we were talking about documentaries. They have not done one, but that would be one I would
Oh, come
love
on,
to
dude.
see. A Jimmy, I mean, those guys got a lot of years together. Same 4 guys in the band. That they should definitely have a doc.
We're
They
on
just
like
put
what,
out a book.
31 years at this point or something
I
like
don't know.
that.
I mean, it's up there. I don't
Early
know how many,
90s
but
or yeah, so
yeah.
29, 20.
They're up there.
You ever watch it? I used to watch the YouTube videos of the Meshuggah LD. That dude
Yeah.
plays the light board like an instrument, and it is I don't give a shit about Meshuggah's music. Personally, nothing against it, but whatever. It's not my thing. But
Oh, I'm sure they're
watching him play the like
Was he,
control, oh dude,
back there dancing.
Dude,
and
all
shit.
the
Well, there
crazy
is-
time signatures and
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, he's
I've,
on
I've
it, bro.
seen that a couple times. I really enjoy like when you're at a show and you either check out the front of house sound guy or the lighting guy. And like occasionally there are dudes out there who are so into their gig and their band that they're working for, and they're literally like, whether they're mixing the concert or lighting the concert, they're like rocking out and hitting the switches, and it's like they're performing too.
Man, they're part of it.
And then there's the other dudes who have like their high top chair, and it's just like scene one.
Yeah, and they're out.
Just collecting a check. I love when I see it like that, when people are rocking. It's funny that Kenny said this. He said amateur hour with the beds, chairs are where it's at in the low budget hotels. I feel like I have a memory of Kenny being somewhere with us. Like, no, I'll just sleep in this chair and just vampire that shit all night.
I can't sleep sitting up like a psychopath.
Exactly, right. You slept great. The rest of us slept with one eye open because we thought you were about to kill us.
We were
all.
waiting for you to come after us. That's hilarious.
The dudes in the bed, it was the guys with no good sleep that night. Like, yo, Kenny is creeping me out, man.
I remember hopping on, getting into a hotel in Buffalo, New York, and we walked in, and I was like, "This feels like a murder scene for sure."
Well,
everybody was arguing.
New York.
Yeah, right. Everybody's arguing about who's getting the beds and whatever, and I'm like, front of house deal. Like, I'm not getting a bed for sure. Y'all are in the band, whatever. But whatever, So I'm gonna sleep on the floor. Dude flips up the bed sheets, and there was like legit, not like a couple spots, but like real fucking blood stains. Like not like somebody picked a scab, but like man, somebody like bled out on this motherfucker. You guys could have changed this. And I was pretty happy to be hitting the tub.
Makes me think of my new favorite show, The Haunting of. I've been watching those hand over fist on YouTube. Creepy, a lot of hotel stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mentioned earlier we were going to keep it short tonight. It's 9:30. Brad's got to get across town. He wants to be home before curfew. I totally respect that. So I think I kind of thought we'd only go an hour tonight, but we ended up doing well, and I didn't get all super sneezy and everything else. Didn't play an ounce of this song, which is awesome. We just kind of we talked about going freestyle, and we did. I feel like we're probably at a pretty good shutdown point. I know Brad wants to get out of here soon, and I want to get him home safe and sound. We're going to keep an eye on the city tonight and see what's going on or whatever. But like I said earlier, if you weren't here with us earlier, I'll say it again. We will not be on next week. Joe is out of town doing a little work situation. So next week's off. I encourage everyone to watch Musipolitics with Spiffy and Michael. If you're hip to it, you know where it is. If you're not hip to it, just go on Facebook or anywhere and type in Musipolitics with an X on the end. You'll be able to figure it out. Get hip, yeah. And then the following week, I don't know. We'll have something cool cooked up for you when we come back week after next. Not sure what that is yet, but I'll do my best. I'll actually have some time to prep. I'll have something. Like I said, we're going to have Chris Johnson over here soon. He's going to do some mastering, so we have someone else in the hot seat. I can ask him some questions. I can learn some things too. It'll be fun to... I am not a mastering guy. I say it all the time. I don't really want to be either. I like
it's a different art.
It is a different art. I like to finish my mix and get it to where I think it can get. And I like the idea of someone who is specific to mastering and a mastering engineer who has a different set of ears, a different set of speakers, a different set of equipment, and just a different take on it. It's like I get so into it. By the time I'm done with my mix, it's like I could master it here, but I'm going to be listening in the same place I've been listening to. I have a few sets of speakers, but nothing really changes. Like I just don't think I'm the guy to do it. And like I said, I like to have that last stop, that person I trust to take my thing and make it better yet, and finalize it for me. There's a couple great guys in town. There's people on the East and West Coast. I've used a handful of different mastering guys over the years, and it's something that I don't really understand. So I did a little bit with Chris the other night. I was working on a thing. He did a quick master for me just to kind of show how he does it. We actually took that track and ran it through. There's a thing called Isotope now that does mastering based on AI. And you can literally like upload any song in the world and then upload your song and say, I would like it to be this level, this loudness, that EQ curve, match it. So we did that. That was interesting. But we'll go through some of that stuff. I don't know if that'll be next episode or not, but that will be in the near future. And I think that's where we're at tonight. Anyone got anything else they want to put on the button on the end?
Maybe tomorrow we'll do like a little Instagram live from the noise below Instagram, just for maybe like 5 or 10 minutes from the studio.
Idea. Yeah, we'll be over there. We'll do it maybe just lo-fi on the phone or something. Or I don't know. Joe will be there too. Maybe we can go a little.
Yeah, I got some gear. We can get a real deal. We'll
figure out something. Yeah, I would say keep an eye on the Instagram. Maybe we'll even pop in on the old Facebook page too.
Yeah. Give
we
me something.
certainly could. Just a little live hang, just to see what we're doing over there in a different studio, different set of circumstances. But yeah, we're going to be over there about the same time as we're usually on here, but tomorrow night. So keep your eyes open. What's Mingy hitting us with? Oh, the corn lighting guy. All right, I'll check this one out.
It's good.
Thanks, Ming. But yeah, we're going to cut this one short tonight and get people home safe and sound before the curfew, like I said. So, I'm hoping our city will do better so we don't have to have these curfews. If we don't have these ridiculous things happening in the streets, then we won't, it's also like, the curfew feels like we're getting punished. We're getting punished for someone else's bad actions. I don't know. The whole thing is a mess, but we're going to wrap it for tonight. I appreciate you guys sticking and hanging with us, especially on a night where we did literally no work, listened to literally no music, and just kind of talked about documentaries and other things. But hang. I like these. Yeah, we often talk about this. The freestyle is just as fun as the planned out. We're gonna mix or we're gonna do this and that. And I think we're gonna do more of these. And it as much as it is a show or whatever you want to call it, it also is kind of a podcast. And our one and only rule from day one with this thing is no rules. We're gonna do it however we want to do it. And tonight we felt like doing it like this, so I hope you enjoyed it.
I mean, we do have one other rule.
What's that? Yeah, we do. Do you want to let them know what it is?
I was. Well, all right.
You want me to let them know?
I was going to say, do you want to let the people know what the other rule
You're right.
is?
There's two rules. One, there's no rules. Mm-hmm. Two, always keep it tight.